Nation.
What's up?
That was
Welcome
a,
back.
oh,
Welcome back.
that was a good one, guys.
Well, thank you.
We're glad to have you guys back to another episode of The Bros. Where we just talk as a family. This is almost like a family discussion of soccer. You
This is
guys ever
your
thought about that? We just kind of just chit chat
Yeah,
as a family about soccer,
it's great.
and we just welcome all of you who are listening to our family.
whether you're a first-time listener, whether you've been here with us for a while, welcome back.
Welcome back and welcome. Um, guys,
hmm
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the weekend.
hmm
4th of July was great, and well, soccer happened. A lot of
Well,
soccer.
I
A
don't know
lot
about
of
you guys.
soccer.
I feel like the 4th of July weekend went by way too fast.
It always does.
Always
Man,
does.
I need
Summer
another
summer's going by too
vacation.
fast.
All of it. I need a lot more vacation than just 3 days. But
Right.
um, we only have about an hour to talk about all the soccer that's happened in the past week. So buckle up because there might be. In fact, I don't think we filtered out any of our opinions. I have no idea what you guys are going to say. You have no idea what I'm going to say. So let's let this fly. So we're going to talk about the RSL game this past weekend. Um,
hmm
all the ups and downs, what you guys saw. Because I unfortunately didn't get to be as involved in this game, but doesn't mean I don't have opinions. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the U.S. national team. There's a lot of stuff there. Um, yep. Uh-huh. And we're going to talk about Luna's both performances because last time we recorded, they hadn't played Guatemala yet, by the way. So keep
Sure.
that in mind. So we're going to talk about the U.S. national team with Luna. And then we're going to dive into RSL's game this weekend against Houston. And there's some surprises there. I think there's some surprises there. And then obviously, we're going to end off. Stick around. You want to stick around. There's a lot of Instagram questions.
So
I
I've heard.
so I saw. So I'm just saying there's a lot of them that are going to make us want to think a lot. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this. Marcos, give me your thoughts on lineup, thoughts on the game, all of it.
U.S. Guatemala.
Bro, RSL.
I was just joking with you. I wanted to see your face.
Yeah, you about saw my finger.
I know, I know. No, I was very satisfied with the way that the guys stepped up going back from the KC game into this one. First and foremost, Caliskin. We said it when he took the reins over from Hidalgo. The man has stepped up in that right back position. I've been very well happy for him getting his first MLS goal, and not just any MLS goal, off a volley. That was beautifully well taken. So
Yeah,
yeah,
can't say much about that.
and Diogo had the best game of his RSL career. So very well to very nice celebration for his best friend. So very nicely done with that. So it was a scrappy, typical RSL game. We kind of shut off in that second half, which was unfortunate, but we got it done.
Christian, what do you got?
It was it was a good game. I'm not as thrilled as Marcos is because of the fact that our second half was weaker than our first half. But again, hats off to Noel Caliscan. Fantastic first goal. I mean, he's you start off with a banger like that. That's a high bar for anybody to try to surpass again.
Oh yeah,
And then Diogo coming into his own, man. I'm enjoying watching him play, watching him perform. The tribute to Diogo was touching and good. Yeah, it was all in all, it was a good performance from RSL. On the offense, it was exactly what we needed. Defense still needs to clean things up. Both goals were off of set pieces. Again, that is our weakness. We can defend open field, which is awesome. I absolutely love that we can defend open field. Still a little frustrating that set pieces are our weak point, but thankfully Pablo and the players also expressed the same frustration. So I'm glad we're on the same page there. Some
No,
it's
you bring up those set piece goals that we had that were very unfortunate. I think the one player that I think I would have added personally in this lineup was Vera. Obviously Vera's coming back from that sickness, which kind of maybe had to do with a part of it. But Junqua did decent. He did not decent. He did very well in that KC game. But that's
mhm.
the one switch I would have done. Probably Junqua for Vera.
Hmm.
Vera for Junko, you mean?
Exactly.
um, so we see the front four unchanged.
Yeah.
Um, uh, do we think we've found the front four? I think we might have found the front four until this next weekend.
We found the front three with a striker holding spot.
Exactly. If
So,
for those of you who didn't see the question that I asked Pablo in the press conference, I asked him between the battle between Johnny and Dom. Pretty much Pablo said it just comes down to experience. Johnny has showed that he has earned this spot. Dom is
Mhm.
still learning. He still needs more time, more practice. And I think that's what Johnny's doing, putting Dom under his wing and literally teaching him through this last season that he has with RSL.
mm, look, I'm I'm not gonna say that Pablo is wrong. In fact, here's what I would think. I would almost think reverse in the sense of give Dom more minutes because I think what we're trying to do right now, it almost seems like we're just using band-aids and we're not creating an actual base of a team because using I'm gonna probably this is the negative out of me. Using Johnny Russell right now, yes, he has the experience and he's performing well enough right now to help us out. But is that the base that we actually want to build RSL off of? Like he's not going to be around next season. Why not? Let's get someone that's going to be starting for another season for us. I don't know. Am I just being too extreme?
Maybe a tad. I think Band-Aid is not completely incorrect,
Because I
right?
mean,
We've got Dom who is we I think we're making the mistake of having the same expectations out of Dom that we did out of Andres Gomez. And that's not fair because they're two completely different players. Dom is coming in with less experience than Andres Gomez.
mm, that
And
has like levels
mhm.
of topics right there. 'Cause,
It does. It absolutely does. But we need to give credit to Dom for the strides he has made. And anytime he is on the field, he is getting better and better and better. And he will grow into that role. I'm I'm
that
certain of it.
that's
It,
interesting. They bring up that I didn't think about it, but yeah, I kind of do compare him to Andres Gomez.
It's
Eh,
subconscious because they're playing in the same spot, but
it's
no
true.
two players play the same position the same way.
but I
No,
mean,
it
they are the same age, and so that's why I'm like I'm trying to figure out like what I don't want to lower my expectations because the last part of Gomez was like
it's
incredible.
it's it's honestly you get good things from both players. Like obviously
Hmm.
Johnny, you get that experience which our young core needs in Luna and Gozo, and obviously Dom. But then you start Dom, you get that speed, you get that agility with
Hmm.
that pairing of Gozo on the other side.
Yeah, I just wish again, Christian. I think you nailed it for me. I might be comparing him too much to Gomez because I really expected a lot more out of Dom. And maybe there's we've talked about it on this show as well on this podcast. The difference between European experience and South
Hmm.
American experience and the
Exactly.
styles that they play, and
Exactly.
possibly for this league to be to be competitive. Throwing this out there. I think you might need to have more South American experience, more Latino ball than European ball.
I kind of agreed to that end, but remember when Andres first came onto the team?
Oh yeah.
It was in a lot of aspects very similar to Dominic. And I remember turning to Marcos during some of the games and be like, Andres runs like an awkward giraffe. Like, and
Very,
thankfully
very much,
Dom,
very much like a Matt Crooks.
uh, yeah, thankfully, Dom doesn't run like a giraffe, but he he's still coming into his own. And I think once it clicks, it's going to click, kind of like how we've seen Diogo click recently. It's just something because clicked. Now, that doesn't happen with every player that we get, right? We've been fortunate to have players that may struggle for a bit, but all of a sudden they find their stride. And it's because they just keep doing what they know to be good. And we've been seeing a lot of that in this past game, especially against St. Louis, how there was a lot of positive momentum. There were good moments controlling the midfield again from Pablo Ruiz and Gozo. I think got frustrated because he didn't get the chances I think he wanted to get, and you could see that. But he just needs to keep plugging away at it and realize to an extent that he's not going to score every game. As much as we would love to see that, right? As much as we want to live the experiences that we've all done in FIFA career mode because that's the best mode in FIFA's career mode, and where you score almost every single game. Um,
Bro,
okay,
my
but
FIFA career mode is like I get traded every single season. So I don't know if it's a meat problem, if I'm looking for too much money. I don't know what my
All,
problem
all,
is.
all the above, all the above.
all the above. Yeah, you are the problem.
Here too.
No,
But
something that kind of worries me because we see how well Giogo is doing these past few games without Luna. Is now, of course, we get Luna coming in this Saturday. We'll talk about more in a second, probably. But how is that going to work? Because we see both those players are type of players that want to have the ball with them on the feet. They're very much a shoot first and then maybe look for the pass here and there. But
I think
Mm.
I think to your point, Marcos, I again don't want to get ahead of this game, but I think we're going to see a lot of turnaround come this next Saturday, because of a lot of players returning. But the team that played Saturday, granted, we played against St. Louis, who's below us in the table. They are struggling hard right now. Like if you look at all
Which is
the
wild, honestly, seeing how they played.
I told Christian this up in the press box. I was like, this team relies very strongly on Klaus and Klaus only, and it proved just that. Coming from that goal, coming from set pieces, you shut down Klaus. This team is absolutely nothing at all.
That dude is tall too.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
he
Poor
he
poor Caliscan had to try to cover him a few times. And Caliscan, he's probably actually I'm guessing he's what 5'10", 5'11", and
no, he's
five 5'11".
nah. They
5'11".
they they put him at 5'11". He's as tall as you, Christian.
I'm 5'9.5", so
I know
uh
that's what I'm saying.
Klaus is an easy 6'2", 6'3".
Oh yeah,
And so credit to Caliscan for
being a
doing
pain
his
in the
best
butt.
to cover Klaus, and that's a tough job. I don't care how good or how bad St. Louis is playing, covering Klaus is hard for any team to do.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, let's talk about these goals. I know we just briefly mentioned the goals, but Kaliskin, this is his first goal of his MLS career. And
Money.
like you said, Marcos, it was a great shot. Um,
If Messi
that,
was in the MLS, it would have won goal of the week.
Oh,
let's talk
easy.
about that for half a second because I know that there's a lot of noise in the Twitterverse, from RSL fans at least saying this is rigged. This is MLS is totally pro Messi and yada yada yada. All right, my friends, this is me going pro Messi. So skip this
Mhm.
section for the next 30 seconds. Um, guys, talking about a guy that's 38 years old. Um,
39.
oh yeah, he's 38.
He's 38.
Come on,
Okay.
Hold on.
brother. Yeah, come on. He was born in 1987. Fix it. Thank you. Um, so 38 years old. He gets the ball at a little bit beyond midfield and dribbles through six people. Guys, I mean, I'm not taking again what you said. Kaliskin's goal would have been goal of the week if it wasn't for Messi doing messy things at 38 freaking years old. Guys,
I
that's
that is a
ridiculous.
that's a tall order. He would have gotten best in the league if he hadn't gone up against the best player in the world.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So all y'all that they're like MLS is so pro Messi, yada yada. Guys, come
I
on.
mean, yeah, they are
That
pro Messi, but still.
that goal was ridiculous.
Both goals were very, very, very well taken.
Honestly, you know who I think was gypped out of just being nominated for the week was Jogo. That goal that he made was fantastic. He pulled it out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they
Like,
put him on the bench for best,
I probably would have put him on the bench too. Okay, I'm not. He
no.
wasn't going to be a starter. I mean, if you look at everyone else that was starting, I mean, Giogo was maybe on par with them, so might as well just put him on the bench. But I think this might have been his first recognition. I'm not. Don't quote me on that one, but it's been a
I'm not sure.
minute. It's been a minute since he's been recognized by the MLS, and so, um, and his goal,
No,
like you said, was great.
I'm glad that Caliskin wasn't afraid to take a shot like that because it just built his confidence. Because very often we don't see a lot of our defenders take shots like that. Besides Vera, besides Kachanis, but to see Caliskin, I'm like, I like it. I like it.
Katranis had a really good shot, wasn't like the 65th minute or something
Hmm.
like that. And
Yeah.
that was a rocket. Jeez, Zeus with your lightning bolt there. Holy cow.
But I see what you did there.
Thank you.
It did not go unnoticed.
Thank you.
Do you know who I wish would take more shots though?
Pablo.
Agata.
Palacio.
Oh, we're all wrong.
Hmm. Hey, I think we're right with everyone we said though, but
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, yeah,
He didn't take a single shot. At least it wasn't registered on FOTMob. He didn't take a single shot in the game. Um,
I'm
but
curious.
now that you mention Willie, um, guys,
He
I
had an assist. Willie had an assist.
which I think that's why they gave him an 8.1 on FOTMob. But guys, he's not it.
By the way, quick side note, Nelson Palacio has 2 career goals with Real Salt Lake since joining in June of 2023. He's averaging a goal a season. He is a defensive midfielder, but still.
But still, I mean, you can name the 2 goals that he scored. One of them was the long distance one,
Uh-huh.
and
Hmm.
the other one was to tie in Dallas. I think, if I'm not
Yep,
mistaken.
Correct.
That was a wicked game, by the way.
that was a
Um,
wicked game.
but going back to Willie, Willie's not it, and I think from what I heard down the pipeline, if all y'all saw on Twitter, I think there might be some transfer rumors, not like specific ones, but there might be specific positions. So, um,
Aubameyang coming to RSL, calling
shut
it.
up,
I'm
shut up,
joking. I'm
no, shut
joking.
up.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Jamie Vardy.
What?
What?
You'd have to
No.
like come out of retirement. Um, okay. The subs that came on, the subs. Oh,
So
yeah, go.
yeah, so obviously we had Ojeda. Well, first and foremost was Dom that came on
Hmm.
for Johnny. Obviously,
Hmm.
Johnny can only play 60 minutes because he's about to break his knees.
Shut up. I'm just
Easy
saying.
there.
Yeah, easy there, bro. What? Just because you haven't hit 30 doesn't mean the rest of us can't feel it.
No, but then we had Brian that came on in the 82nd minute
Hmm.
for Alex. Did that kind of surprise you that we saw then Sam scoot out to Alex's position and then Brian scoots there?
No, that made sense.
Yeah, bro, that's planned out.
No, I mean like it just seems like we should at that point just finish with the backline that we already had.
No, I mean if they're not feeling it, then you gotta pull them out. I mean, you can't leave them in and just say, "Hey, put up with it," because we really don't have quote unquote anyone in your position. No, I mean that was strategic.
And then REPO coming in for Agata at the 90th minute as well, which that was a needed substitution because you could tell Willie was his legs were heavy at the end of that game there, and
Well, he was
he
gassed. He was
needed
gassed
that.
by halftime.
He was very gassed by the time he was subbed out, and that was needed. And Ari brought good fresh legs to the game that helped see out the game.
Yeah, yeah. So, um,
Like of course this game was a very expected win, of course, because St. Louis is bottom of the West with LA. But there's a lot of things moving forward that RSL needs to improve on from this game. First and foremost is those set pieces. Yes, of course, we'll have players that we'll talk about coming this week, but it's these little things that are killing RSL game in and game out. If we don't improve them now, then we're going to struggle against these top dogs Cincinnati that are coming in a few weeks.
Yes. Ese es un partido muy grande.
I'm just saying, I think we're gonna be turning a corner here. I don't know. All right. Um, anything else from this game?
No, but you froze on my feed, and that's a great face. I'm gonna snip it.
Oh, what? You, oh man, am I still frozen?
For me, you are.
What? I'm moving around. Whatever.
Oh, and you're back.
No, thank
That's
you.
funny. That's funny.
Well, you'll have to post it later. All right. Then let's move on. Oh, you did send it, you jerk. We'll have to show everyone else later.
It's
Uh,
a great reaction.
it'll be our picture for the episode. I
It
mean,
really will be. It's a fantastic picture.
I haven't looked at it. I'll look at it later.
But
All right.
overall, solid game. Like Marco said, plenty of room to improve on. Love where we're standing offensively right now. That is what I want to see going forward. And I think the team has that confidence to do that going forward as well.
Okay. And let's do this. Let's turn the page now. Let's focus on the US national team. Um there is probably a lot of opinions. I have a lot of opinions. Especially there's a lot of things that were said
Mm.
from game 1 to game 2 last week. Like a lot and in the words of Katy Perry, there were people that were hot and they were cold, there were yes and there were no.
Hmm.
There's
More
everything.
more cold than hot.
No, like there's everything, everything. So, um, let's see. Um, Christian, give me your thoughts on the Guatemala game.
The Guatemala game was, I don't want to say it was closer than it should have been. I think it was the result that was deserved. Guatemala probably, I mean, not probably. Guatemala is underranked in the FIFA rankings. 106 is way too low for that team. The quality that they're producing right now, I expect to see them jump in the next when the next rankings come out. I mean, they had a lot of good momentum. The US, I mean, the US, when I say the US, Diego Luna scored a brace back to back super quick, and that was it really for the offensive momentum for the United States. Afterwards, it was mostly Guatemala trying to claw their way back into the game, and they got a goal towards the end, which really brought up their energy, and they had a few really close moments that they could have easily tied the game. I mean, the US is in a little bit, it's not in an identity crisis. I think we're coming out of an identity crisis right now. We're starting to find our rhythm and chemistry as a team again, and we're still ironing out the kinks. And I think the problem that we're falling into, and we'll talk about this when we get to the Gold Cup final, is that as soon as a superstar starts to arise, we put all of the weight on his shoulders, and suddenly things kind of implode. And Argentina saw a little bit of this too in the mid 2010s with Messi, because it was all on his shoulders. And because Argentina didn't win the World Cup back in 2018, it was all Messi's fault. And people are starting to do the same thing with Diego Luna in the U.S. men's national team, which is unfair. But we'll get to that.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's true. I mean, but here's the thing though. We had a lot of what do you call it, personality pundits that they wanted to talk down Luna at the beginning of the Guatemala game. They tried to. I really think they
Hmm.
did.
Yeah.
Lawless, I mean, you name them. But I think what I think is that once they saw the Guatemala game, there's a change of heart. There's a change of mind. I don't know. What do you think,
Mhm.
Marcus?
This was Diego Luna's game. Like he put the U.S. men's national team on his back, and he played lights out. It was sad, very sad. After what was it, the 15th minute, after like the 20th minute, that's when it seems like the U.S. stopped playing. They stopped attacking. They just put their foot on the brake, and they just gave up in a sense. And then it was Guatemala's game to play. I don't know where our attack went, but it's sad that for Guatemala they didn't keep Rubio Rubin in the 90th minute. He seemed like he was their whole attack, but then after that it just kind of went flat for them.
Well, guys, what I want to know is your guys' opinion on Ajimanj. I
So
know. Give me it all. Give me it all because everyone we talked about Luna. Luna did great in this Guatemala game, but Ajiman, I mean, guys, we need a strike.
Absolutely overrated.
he
Absolutely overrated. Derby
he's not the
City
guy.
is getting a steal out of him. And for any U.S. national team fan who thinks that that is a good move for him to go from Charlotte to Derby is kidding themselves. You don't know soccer if you think that that's a good move. You don't know football if you think that's a good move. And I dare British football fans to come after me for that. Sure, Derby City has great history, but they're in the third tier right now. I'm pretty sure. Or are they in the championship? They're in the championship, but they're in the bottom half of the championship, aka RSL in its current state would give them a heck of a game.
That's
Oh
true.
You
yeah.
you can't
Oh
come
yeah.
to me and say that this is a step up for him. This is a step down for Ajiman. He's gonna be a medium-sized fish in a little pond over there.
I feel so bad for Charlotte fans because yes, he's done decent for Charlotte, but it's the same thing with Pulisic. When it comes to putting the badge and representing your country, he's MIA. He he doesn't play well with Luna. He doesn't doesn't at all. And it's very sad to see. I would have loved to have rather seen Brian White get the start over him any day of the week.
But Brian White, I mean, because for me, Brian White is almost like the same thing. Like he hasn't really performed well at all.
Well,
And so
you look at the other options that we have on the bench. Like Downs came in the 85th minute. Obviously he had the goal, the game-winning PK the game before, but and then we have Brian White. So it's just those three options when it comes to attackers.
I know. I feel like Brian White disappears when he plays for the national team. He does great for Vancouver, phenomenal for Vancouver. I would love to have him play for Real Salt Lake, but like Johnny Cardoso, his skill seems to disappear when he puts on the red, white, and blue.
yeah, I'm no argument there. I mean, you're totally right. But I don't know. Here's the issue right now. With what Pochettino said, he says it said something kind of spicy after the final, which we'll talk about the final in just a second. But he said something spicy like he says, "Who do you want me to bring?" Someone asked him like, "Why don't you like?" Or what are your plans for World Cup? Like, who are you gonna bring? Are you gonna bring like the better players and whatnot? He's like, no one has their spot guaranteed. But when you look at this level of lineup right now with like he chose Ajiman. I mean, guys, I think he had better choices than Ajiman and Brian White. I really think he did. But what made them stand out?
I mean, Brian White's easy. His performance for Vancouver, like I said, has been fantastic. That's easy. Ajiman, honestly, I hadn't really heard of him before he joined the national team.
My guess is that he's been decently consistent with Charlotte, and of course he's this tall, big striker. But other than that, he's not very consistent. Brian White makes sense because he's done a killer job for Vancouver. But I feel like there's been other good options throughout the MLS and throughout other leagues that could have been called up for Pochettino. So this was just another scrappy victory that honestly Guatemala should have tied this up. They had plenty of chances towards the end in that second half that was theirs for the taking, but they missed those opportunities.
Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and follow along, and hopefully no one gets mad at me. Do we think Luna performed super well this game, or was it just the fact that he scored the two goals and happened to save the US? And
I
that's
think
why he got all the attention that he got.
I think it's honestly the brace. If he didn't get the brace, then he wouldn't have got that national recognition that he got being on Pac McAfee, being all over ESPN, being on all these covers. If he didn't get that, then nobody would know who the face is right now.
I'm gonna put you guys on the hot spot too. Answer safe if you want to, but is Diego Luna the player that the U.S. national team needs in terms of the kind of player, personality, and skill wise? Is he going to
Uh,
be a starter for the World Cup squad?
he, I wouldn't say he's the player that's needed. He is a player that is needed. He is a cog in the greater machine. I know that Alexi Lawless, fellow podcaster Alexi Lawless, has I think most of us have a love-hate relationship with him, with his opinions. I'm sure he's a wonderful human being, right?
I'm pretty
But
sure everyone thinks that he says 95% crap and 5% we're like, okay, yeah,
here's part of the yeah.
okay.
The best national teams are the best 11 players that work together, not necessarily the absolute best 11 players, because the absolute best 11 players may not have chemistry and work together. I
And
think
that's
Diego, I think Diego Luna would have chemistry with the top players, with Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Josh Sargent, those players that are more aggressive than the crew rather that we saw in the Gold Cup here.
I did see a list somewhere. Someone put out the depth chart list for possible US starters and whatnot.
Mhm.
Someone had put Diego as the starting attacking mid, so starting 10 for the World Cup squad, and put him as a backup on the left wing behind Pulisic. And they even put him ahead of Tillman at the 10.
As much as I love Luna, as much as he's done for this country, done for RSL, I still think he's the first man off the bench. I don't see him as a starter for next year's World Cup. He would have to do a lot more in these upcoming friendlies against Australia, against Japan, against Argentina if he shows up there. But yeah, he just has just a little bit more to prove to get that one up over these other guys.
I can respect that.
I can
Oh,
see it either way.
yeah, I want to look. We were hyped up about Luna. I mean, I'm all about hyping Luna,
I'm
but
still hyped up about Luna.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's all right to be hyped up.
for
I'm
sure.
still hyped up, and I think get this, and Christian, you'll love this. I think Luna sparked in me again the fandom
Mhm.
for the United States, the one that I missed from 2010, 2014,
Oh,
heck, even 2002. That
Absolutely.
that one when I was
oh,
hyped up for.
Japan, Korea. That was great.
Luna
I
sparked that.
Yeah, I think seeing Luna's passion after scoring those two goals,
Mhm.
kissing that crest on his
Three
chest,
goals.
3 goals, it just brought that passion back to me, wanting to love the U.S. men's national team even more.
That's what we need. We need somebody who plays for the badge on the field.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were arguing pre-Gold Cup about Pulisic. It Pulisic almost feels like he doesn't fight for that badge. In fact, when was the last time we saw that kind of celebration with the US? Someone grabbing the badge and kissing it, like saying like
Um,
this is
ma-
my team.
Man in the mirror, Pulisic when he did that
When?
against Mexico.
But like 5+6+ years ago, wasn't it? The man in the
It,
mirror one?
that was that the
Three,
Nations League?
4 years ago.
It was a few years ago.
Either way,
The fact that it's
we're
been
missing it.
years is an issue.
Yeah, and the fact that it's coming from one of I guess a player that isn't normally a star player for the U.S. national team. Um, that means below what we consider the stars are kids that have passion to represent, and it even brings in the conversation of there are so many dual nationals within the United States. You don't have to go outside to Europe to another league within our own ranks, we have so much passion to represent the United States that I think US scouts might be missing out. Heck, the whole US soccer system is missing out and there's so many
Mhm.
kids falling through the cracks.
It's sad.
It-
It's sad.
I was gonna say it's not even necessarily dual nationals. It's just nationals.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Leave off the side dual nationals. We have kids that are wanting to fight for the red, white, and blue, and yet they're not given a chance because of politics, because of being outpriced, because they can't pay for the $10,000 to be on a team to go travel to multiple states. It's like,
Hmm.
guys, the U.S. system is broken.
Now, do you think with what we saw with this roster, with all of Gold Cup, with what Pochettino brought, do you think that's going to make a change in the years to come?
Not yet. No.
No,
I
even though
it,
he put on MLS Kids, it won't change.
there's too much money in it.
In fact, someone I read something else on Twitter. Get this. It was someone put a little quote from the Johan Cruyff autobiography. Talk
Oh.
Did you read it?
Mm.
I have
No,
Uh,
not.
sorry. Not the book. Did you read the quote that
Uh,
someone put out?
I have not.
So this is paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of Johan Cruyff said that when Klinsmann was coach for the 2010 World Cup, um, U.S. Soccer came up to him and said that he had to select um, a certain amount of MLS players, and they all had to be from different teams. They couldn't be from the same team. Multiple players couldn't be from the same team. And so this goes to say that U.S. Soccer and the MLS are pretty much corrupt. They're telling how the U.S. men's national team need to be 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 built. Um, which I'm people are now going to say, um, I don't know. They're going to say some stuff. They're going to say things like um Flip. I already lost my train of thought. Gotta love that. But here's the thing. Um, the US they pulled off the win against Guatemala,
mhm.
and now they get to the final against Mexico. This is everything that we all expected out of this Gold Cup, right? What do you
Nothing changes. Nothing changes.
look? I loved this, like what you were saying, Marcus. I love that Pat McAfee, Lawless, a bunch of other personalities were hyping up Luna. Love it because we needed someone to be the hero in all
Absolutely.
of this.
I
Why not
like it.
Luna?
Yeah, I like in this US first Mexico game. US came out balls to the wall, super fast goal. Chris Richards. I for a second, for a split second, I was like, did it cross the line? Did it cross the line? Barely bounces over the line,
Actually,
counts.
I still have my doubts.
You still got.
I have my doubts.
I'm gonna take it. We have no goal line technology, so we'll take it. But it was beautiful. It was the start that the U.S. men's national team needed against a very heavy attack minded Mexico team.
Mind you, I think Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, they brought their A/B team, where the US brought their C.
C D team.
Which says a lot with how closely the teams played because it was a close game, regardless of the result. It was a close game.
I
It
would
was close.
argue. I would
I
argue.
mean, you do like to argue.
But here's the thing. Watching the game, I felt the same way that the momentum scale shows on FOTMOB.
That's fair.
I felt that Mexico was just on the front foot the majority of the game. Yes, we scored first and we came out fast, exactly what Marco said. After that, that's it. That is
Fair.
literally all that happened.
We
After
saw
that,
more.
it was just blah.
We never see it. We never see this for Luna, but he was playing so much defense more than usual. And I got frustrated with that.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not what Luna should be doing. Luna should be pressing higher, higher and higher towards that defense.
that's
And
true.
but no, we were hunkering back down on defense so much in this game.
In fact, online people were complaining that it was Arfston's fault. Arfston couldn't play defense enough, so that's why Luna had to keep dropping. I mean,
Well,
what
you
was I
watch
doing?
Luna. If you watch Luna during the game, he constantly was pointing at the line, pointing at guns, like, watch that run, watch that guy, watch. He could have flown with how much his arms were moving around, right?
Yeah,
He was doing way too much defensive work and not being able to focus on the areas that he needed to focus on as an attacking midfielder.
Well, and
now
every time Luna would get the ball, he presses up, and who of course is not reading him well? Ajimon. He's not making the right run, or every time Patrick would get the ball, he would shank it. He loses his touch. He has the biggest rhino touch on the planet. It's like he can't read the ball to save his life.
um yeah, and it does it, but I think I want to get to this. Does it surprise you that Luna has the lowest FOT mob score on the starting in the starting lineup?
No, because everybody put everything on his shoulders for this game. It was because he was the hero, to use your verbiage from a couple moments ago, because he was the hero because there wasn't success, it was his fault, not anybody else's.
Now, do you think not only did pundits, fans make him the hero and put all this pressure on Luna, do you think his teammates did the same thing?
Absolutely.
I find that absolutely unfair if that's the case, because you have a De La Torre who should have
Hmm.
experience. You have Adams who should have experience. You have Tillman who should have experience. And quote unquote, this is all European experience. Everyone is arguing, hey, we should have European experience. And yet you guys are relying on a guy who was playing USL 3 years ago. Sure, he was player of the season for the USL, moved
Mhm.
to the MLS. I think I'm going to be a little too, maybe this is maybe a little too harsh. He struggled for the first 2 seasons.
He did.
He's breaking out this season,
Making a second All-Star game. So it's just like,
and yet everyone was relying on him. That that's not that's not it.
That's
and then,
not fair to him.
well, we have our captain, 37-year-old Tim Ream, who in that first goal for Mexico had an easy opportunity to slide tackle to stop that shot, just stands there, sticks out his leg. It's like, come on, we need more from our captain, more desire, more effort. But no, you let a fast striker in Jimenez take that beautiful shot and tie it up.
You can't let Raul Jimenez get into spots like that.
No,
You
never.
can't. He's performing in the EPL as a top striker in the EPL.
At his age, it's pretty impressive. I mean, for
Seriously.
years he was doing really well in the EPL anyways with Wolves. I can't remember another team that he was on, but before his injury, his pretty devastating injury, he was lights out as well. Um,
And the
No,
fact that he's still this dangerous is
yeah.
it was after this goal with Raul Jimenez. That's just when all hell broke loose. It's like we've said, that defense and the midfield, they just weren't reading each other. We had so many holes that Mexico was reading. They had all those through balls, and we just couldn't catch up to them.
I think the two that should have had a lower rating than Luna should have been De La Torre and Adams, because Mexico is just cruising through the middle, just strolling right up the middle and getting chance after chance. If you look at, we had 6 shots, 6 total shots, not even shots on goal, 6 shots the whole game. Guys, this is a
that's
final.
unacceptable.
That's a
That's unex
final.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I'm just taking a look at our super secret group text where we're talking about the game. And so we start 5:07 p.m. Mountain Time, and about 4:37 minutes in at 5:44, I say, "Holy cow, we need possession," because we
Yeah.
were on the back foot.
Yeah, first half possession was in fact I turned to my brother-in-law. I was like, dude, without looking at the stat line, I was like, I'm not gonna look at the stat line. I bet you this is a 60-40. And lo and behold, at that moment it was like a 66-34. He's like, it's closer to 70-30 at this point. I'm like, this is horrible.
It's facts. It's facts. I think the biggest player that it doesn't make any sense why he did not come off. I think we can all agree. Ajimaj. This is a final playing 90 plus minutes. Why in the hell is he playing this many minutes when you have other options off the bench? I'm not saying that they're maybe better, but just like, what did he do in the Guatemala game that shows you that he is going to be an actual starter in the final?
Yeah, and go without saying, like, we put in a Damian Downs, guys. You put Damian Downs over Brian White. Um, Again, I don't know if this is like some kind of experiment tournament for Pochettino, but
I think that decision was just a minutes thing at that point.
well, I mean, yeah, like I said, you had Brian White on the bench. Like, at
But
least put in.
Brian White hadn't showed up at all for this tournament. I think that was fair game, to be
Yeah,
completely honest.
you had a Miles Robinson that you could have used over Tim Ream. It's like,
Also, if you look at the bench, we have a crap ton of defenders on there. You had another 4 defenders on the bench, which speaking of which, Miles Robinson didn't play.
That is wild.
That's wild. Um, so uh, I don't want to get in too much into this because again, we could go on for a little bit more, but uh, I know there are some calls for Pochettino out. Um, do you guys think Pochettino
Wait,
doesn't have
wait.
it?
Who? Who's saying this?
I
Well,
haven't heard that at all.
you haven't. Maybe I just have
No,
a,
no, like,
a negative
no,
Twitter feed.
I've heard like the possible rumors of a Burnley and other.
No, not that. But people are saying Pochettino doesn't have it to be the national team coach. Like we need to find a replacement.
No,
Who's
no,
I
better?
well, that's a great question. So some people are actually saying let's try to get Bradley and Arenas back.
We tried that already.
no, no,
That
no, no, no.
that flopped so hard. It might have been Neymar.
I th I think for the players that Pochettino called up for this tournament, they did decent. Like if we had more experience, we could have put up a better fight against Mexico. Not saying we could have won, but would have been a little bit better.
And also, don't forget the A team players turned down coming down to this
Right,
tournament.
right.
So for what he had available to him, he did honestly a pretty good job. And I want to see anybody argue about what they could have done differently.
Well, I guess maybe then what you guys are saying is this team played to the level that they could.
Yeah, yeah.
And does that worry you that I mean, we already discussed this wasn't Mexico's worst team, but it wasn't their best team. Does it worry you that we can't beat Mexico? Heck, we barely got past Guatemala. Let's talk real here. We barely got past Guatemala. We barely got past Costa Rica.
Again, like I said, I think we're coming out of the slump that we were in. Unfortunate that we had a loss here, and we're starting to find our identity again. So I don't see any sirens or massive red flags. Things to improve, absolutely.
Yeah,
Egos
I
need to be put in check, uh and the passion and the patriotism needs to come back. But other than that,
100% agree. There's no reason quite yet to panic as USA fans. Yes, it's frustrating to lose to your rival Mexico in another final, but we didn't have depth. These were a lot of inexperienced players, first time playing with the national team. So we still have three friendlies coming up. So there's still time.
All right. Then I'll pump the brakes for another episode. But I still have
But
really strong feelings. Huh?
but obviously in these upcoming friendlies, it all comes down to what players is Poach gonna call up and how serious are those guys gonna take those friendlies.
I don't know. I hope Pulisic doesn't say that he's barely starting the season and he's too tired and he's focusing on his club.
Because those are two good friendlies against two good teams, Australia and Japan.
I swear, if one of
we
them
sh we should win both games.
should.
We should. Anything other than I could accept a draw against Japan. We should not lose to Australia. Sorry, Lockie. We should not lose to Australia.
We shouldn't, unless all of a sudden the Australia that played against Argentina in the World Cup shows up, then we're screwed.
Tim Cahill coming out of retirement.
Yes. All right. I'm done talking about the U.S. for now
Yep.
because if not, I'm going to be here all night. All right. Let's talk about what we really want to talk about tonight, which is the upcoming RSL.
RSL. RSL.
Yes. We're going to talk about RSL coming up against we'll call it a new age rival, Houston. Even though
Yeah.
I think it's lost its edge a little bit because of some trades. I really think it has because I think the real rivalry was with last year's squad.
Mhm.
But it is what it is because we still need to beat Houston. Let's take a look at this the standings real quick because I think this is the reason why this game and a couple of future games are so important.
So right now, if we look at the standings, so we are 4 points out from that last playoff spot, which Houston is tied with Colorado.
And technically
LA.
Austin.
At four
No.
teams.
4 teams tied. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This is I think we want to get into this big mess. This is why it's going to get really fun.
So for those of you who did not watch Houston's last game, please go watch it because you missed a goal palooza. Like that was an amazing comeback by Houston, 4-3 on the road against a very good San Diego squad. They were down three, what was it, 3-2 in about the 85th minute. Comeback, Ponce scores an 87th minute goal, ties it up, and then a game winner in the 101st minute by a
That should
penalty.
worry us.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at who scored. I mean, they have Enali. Enali is he there? What is
And
he?
Ollie's their left mid.
He's their left wing. So their last starting 11, they had going from back to the front, Bond and goal. Then they had Escobar, Ortiz, Bartlow, and Andrade as the back line. They're running the same formation we are right now.
Right.
So back four, and then their two defense mids were Rain and Artur. And then their attacking mids were Inali, Bassi, and Linger. I think that's how you say his name. And then Ponce up top.
Okay. I think it's the same. At least two of their players are the same ones that we've talked about for the past since we've started this podcast. Artur and Bassi. You stop them, they have a harder time creating any kind of offense. But
Well, then you got
that's the
then
thing.
you have Ponce who just came off a brace.
Right. But I mean, if you can at least stop the midfield part of it, it's going to be harder for the forwards to get the ball. That's all I'm saying. So, but that's the thing. Who do we have to stop them? We can't even. Well, I can't say we can't. We've been struggling stopping many people.
Well, let me just stop you right there. We have Emeka Anelli who will be back possibly for this Saturday. So you pair up Anelli, you pair up Ojeda. We know how well that duo does in that midfield.
Now, stop. Before you get everyone's hopes up really high, like, what's the likelihood? Are we saying like,
So
you're telling me there's a chance?
little insider here. So we got an opportunity to we caught Emeka and Nelia outside of the media room before the game, and we actually got him to cheer on the supporters group march. Which honestly, Emeka, thank you for joining us for that. That meant the world to the supporters groups. You should have seen how their eyes lit up when they saw him up there. And we got just a quick second to talk to him, and he said that he is returning to partial team practices this week, which means he should be available for the weekend. But I think he's going to come off the bench. He should come off the bench. Need to limit his minutes as he comes back into full activity.
I mean, I'll take it for this as the outsider that wasn't in the conversation. I'll take it as if he's going to be joining partial practices this week, he's not going to be on the bench this week, but he will probably be more available next week when we have a doubleheader week. How many minutes? Who knows? It might be a small amount of minutes. Not going to lie. I don't think we'll be seeing a full strength Anelli until maybe Leagues Cup. That's my thoughts. But nonetheless, instead of how many weeks did we say? We thought it was going to be like 12 weeks. I think we're only at 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah, there was a rumors that around like August that he would be back.
Which
he said he was feeling good.
Okay. That's obviously this is all just word of mouth. Nothing is official from the team.
Nothing official from the team. We are not representatives of the team. We do not speak for the team. We do not speak for the team.
That was really good.
Thank you.
But of course, we will have Diego back for his first match since he left for the Gold Cup.
Maybe. I mean, because again, the team likes to throw out, well, he needs some rest. He's coming off a lot of minutes. What? Everyone else is not coming off a lot of minutes too? I mean, here's my thought, guys. Play flipping Diego Luna. The kid has had the same amount of rest as a normal game. I know he's played at a higher level, and it's a bit more rigorous.
I don't see a reason for him coming off the bench. This is a no-brainer for him to start. He's back.
I don't think he wants to sit on the bench.
No.
I think he wants to keep playing. But
I would.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've never played that high of a level, so I don't know how exhausted I would be. But I would, again, what Christian said, I would want to play. But we're we get a lot of people coming back. So we have Anelli, who's starting to get integrated with the team. Luna's coming back from tournament. Um, Ojeda is back from green card. Obviously, he just played. He's probably going to get more minutes, if not start at this
I,
point.
I was
You
gonna
have
say we're talking about who we want to challenge Bassi and Artur. Ojeda's who I would want. He's
definitely.
in that position to cause some havoc and chaos.
Well, I mean, whoever. I mean, the other person that likes to cause havoc and chaos with Houston is flipping Vera, and
That
you giggle.
made me giggle.
Yeah, because I mean, we remember that he was throwing punches like during the playoffs. I mean, the,
Oh, I that kind of fight. Oh,
Yeah,
love
this
that.
is
we need
this is
that.
the game. This
We
is the
don't
game
like the
that
red cards, but we like the fight.
yeah, this is the game where I want to see a Glad Vera pairing, and then of course Alex, Kaliskin, and then the question is up top: do we just go back to what we had originally before Diego left? Just keep it Diego, Diogo, Gozo.
Well, I guess that's I think the biggest question mark that we're going to be
Mm.
facing right now is who is our front four.
I don't envy Pablo Mastroeni on this one. What a decision.
Here's my thoughts. I'm going to go with my gut feeling, then out with what I want. My gut feeling is Pablo's just going to stick with the same front four. He's just going to stick with the same one because it's been working.
Yeah. Don't mess with what's working.
What I want is, um, I would want a guy on the bench. I would want Gozo up top, Johnny on the right, Diego in the middle, Diogo on the left.
Huh. Who said that last week?
Shut up. Yeah. Because the only reason why it makes sense is because Gozo seems to be the Energizer Bunny.
Hmm.
I can't say so much for this last game, but he's had more consistent performances than Agata.
Agreed.
Johnny would be great to be on that right wing and then bring in Dom.
Yep.
You keep Diego and Diogo the whole game. Why not? Um, and heck, like we would have Agata and Peel off the bench if you really need to sub Luna and Gozo. I mean, I think that's what we're looking at in terms of depth.
Oh yeah, we have our options. Everybody's going to be healthy, which is prime time for us moving into Leagues Cup, moving into the
Oh
halfway
my
point of the
gosh.
season.
It feels nice to have like a 90% available team again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Knock on wood.
it really does.
Kobe, get better.
But I think what we might be
But speaking of real quick before we get into prediction and everything else, we saw some of our RSL B team, if you want to call it, get starting time against the Monarchs on Sunday. We saw
With the
Hid-
Monarchs.
with the marks, not against
Not
the marks.
against.
we saw Hidalgo, we saw PQ, we saw Kobe, we saw Ari, we saw Lachlan, and then of course Jesus, but he's a normal starter for the Monarchs. Does that what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you feel like that's where most of those players should be playing?
Oh, yeah. I think if they
I
get more minutes there, I think
I was gonna say for me, it's not it's the minutes. It's staying fresh and staying consistent.
yeah. I would love to see just because I'm all about lately I'm all about development. I would love to see Aiden get more
Mm.
consistent Monarch minutes to throw him into the RSL squad
Definitely.
again. Um, but I just leave him there. I don't really care. Who we have right now and who we've been playing is fine enough for me. For those that keep asking about Lachlan, I sorry guys, I don't care. He doesn't do anything for me. Sorry, that's really rough. But I just haven't felt it lately. So, guys, we're running out of time. So, with that, it's
Prediction
prediction time.
time.
Prediction time.
There we go. All right.
Alan, take it away. You
What,
take it
me?
away, Alan.
Okay.
You take
Yeah,
it away, Alan.
Gage first.
Sure. We're gonna do this super positive because for a quick start, and I think we have a lot of momentum, especially with Luna and a bunch of other players coming back. This is gonna be a 2-0 win for RSL. Marcos, go.
We are gonna have Luna. We're gonna have a lot of players back, which I'm super pumped about. I'm gonna similar to you, Alan. I'm gonna go 2-1.
Ooh.
All right.
Y'all are gonna hate me. I'm gonna go more conservative on this one. Houston's more dangerous than St. Louis. They're a good team. I think it's gonna be a 2-2 draw.
Oh, that's actually kind of high scoring.
A lot of goals. A lot of goals.
All right. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. All right. Because we're running out of time and the amount of Instagram questions that we got,
Go, 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 go,
let's
go.
do it. It's Instagram question time.
Here you guys go. The first question of the night. What is your favorite RSL jersey of all time?
Mm,
I like the peaks.
the peaks are so good.
I'm gonna have to go with a RSL checkerboard.
You mean the grid? Come on, man.
I gotta go Croatia. RSL Croatia.
The honey is also really nice. I also really like the claret with the cobalt sleeves. That is a solid look too.
Those ones are a good look. Next question for you guys. Do you agree with Tom Bogart about us needing a winger plus a fullback?
Not a
Uh,
winger.
You don't think we need a winger?
No, we've got wingers. I think we need a striker and a fullback.
I think we need a left winger.
We definitely need a fullback. We need depth right there because we see with injuries, it's like it's literally next man up. So that we definitely do need.
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit more into that today, there was an interview, well, press asked Pablo about some transfers, and apparently there are going to be 3 to 4 players coming in this transfer window. They mentioned a striker, an attacker, and a defense, which I think it's going to be a right back, a left winger, and possibly a DP striker.
I would say, I really hope it's a DP striker. If all of them are just flops, it would really upset me.
I mean, we got 4 in this window last year. We
Mhm.
had Dom, Diogo,
Mhm.
Michel,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mitchell.
and
Poor guy.
didn't Lachlan come in this one too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Agreed. Yep.
Something like that. I mean, I think Lachlan's been kind of a flop. So Michel and Lachlan, but really we have Diogo and Dom. So maybe.
Interesting to see what happens.
We will see it hopefully in a couple of weeks. Next question for you guys. What type of DP9 do we really need?
A finisher.
Someone that can actually score goals, someone that's not afraid to take chances.
Well, I maybe to if you want to get really specific, I really think to Christian's point, a finisher. I think we just need someone that can just stick their foot out and tap in a goal. Someone who can jump up and knock it in. Chicho-esque, but I want more
Like a
body height.
Bowanga?
No, Bouanga's a winger striker attacker.
More of like a
Ajimaj.
Louis,
Hani Mukhtar
like a Luis Suarez
Yeah,
with better knees.
with
and
better
less
knees.
biting.
No, but maybe what's Dallas's striker called?
Lucia Costa? No,
No.
Petter Musa.
No.
Petter Musa.
Petter Musa.
Oh, I was gonna say
Petter
Julio.
Anderson Julio?
Yes, we need Julio back. Do you know what Anderson Julio would be doing right now? Flip.
running, and more running.
He would thrive in this formation.
If we sold everyone else and kept him the in the offseason,
Well,
we would have
need
been
10
fine.
more players.
Well,
We can't field one person.
Well, duh. Just shut up. I'm telling you. But legit, I think we would have been fine. We wouldn't be in the position where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Go next
knows?
question.
Hi, Anderson.
What was the most memorable moment Damir Kreilach had at RSL?
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. Absolutely.
I'm trying to think. Is there any other moment besides Karate Kid that sticks out to me? No, I think that's about it. I was like,
I mean, if you guys can name another moment, good for you.
Commented it below the video, the short,
Whatever.
TikTok, whatever.
I think on and off the field, he was a true leader that this team really was blessed to have. It's sad that he had to end his career, but hopefully it's a good one moving forward
Hey,
for him.
happy retirement, Dommy.
Yep.
Thank you for what you did for us.
Hats off.
Next question for you guys. Do the MLS playoffs even mean anything when 60% of the teams make it in?
Ooh, guys, I love these kind of conversations. I wish we had another
We don't have enough time.
yeah.
Quick,
I've always hated the
Pete,
MLS playoff format. The fact that we have 9 teams out of what there's 15 in each conference makes no sense. No sense. It should be what top 5. Top 5 from East and West makes playoffs.
It's got to be a number that fits into a bracket, bro. You can't
Okay.
have
yeah,
five.
come on.
Top 4. Top 4 from East and
Okay.
West.
Okay, I can do that.
Mm,
So that's a pretty short playoff.
That's a very short playoff. I would say 8.
But
No
that's what
first round bye.
That's what we do right now.
No, we have 9 right now with the first team getting a first round bye.
I mean, it's the same thing. Same thing. I think I might do top 4 only because well, that's what Argentina does. Argentina does top 4 and then they just whoosh.
No, because by the time you get to the playoffs, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything anymore because then we go.
Well, you can't say it doesn't mean anything. Playoffs mean
Marcus.
something.
RSL would not have won its championship without the playoff system.
Yes, so we can't say no to playoffs, but I do agree with top 4 because that would mean quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. That's it.
That's
Though
fair.
the only thing that I would change, and I would change it starting now, is aggregate goals.
Yes.
Home and away. That's it. Let's go back to that. Home and away, aggregate.
I miss home and away.
I'm not opposed to that. Not opposed. That would be a.
Do you remember how excited? I don't know if you guys remember how exciting it was. We played LA. I think 2012, 2013, 14. But
David Beckham. Yep.
no. I'm not talking about the final. I'm talking about the there was a series where I think Chris Schuler
Yes.
scored like our game-winning goal in one of the overtimes because we had tied it on aggregate at home. It was like I just miss that kind of pressure.
That makes playoffs mean something. Mean something that much more. Which
So I think maybe not changing the amount of teams that get in, but maybe changing the style where it needs to be aggregate, because aggregate actually means something. And the away goal. Aggregate and away goal. Do you know how stressful that was? It's flipping stressful. Yes. Anyways. Next question.
amazing what Luna can do when surrounded by a better team? Question mark. Or is he just strung by a bunch of good luck?
I'm going to disagree with both of those statements.
Yeah. Not. Yeah.
I don't think the U.S. national team in this tournament was a great team for him to be surrounded by.
I think the environment is what boosted him. The playing for the national team and the possibility of winning an international title. That's what boosted him.
Yeah.
Was there some luck?
For sure.
Sure. But there's luck with almost every goal.
The PK shootout, maybe some luck, but
Well, I'll say this because you mentioned it earlier. I think playing with people like Ajimanj doesn't make you better. We're not Ajiman haters, but guys, let's be real here. He's not a national team player. So playing with him didn't really boost him. Playing with Tillman, maybe. Playing with Berhalter, I don't think so. Playing with De La Torre, playing with Arston, I don't think so. But I think to Christian's point, I think the atmosphere.
yeah, I think
raises level.
I think with Luna playing with the national team, I think it's going to build that confidence for him moving forward with the rest of the season with RSL.
And speaking of atmospheres, the St. Louis game atmosphere is one of the best that we've had all year. If we give Diego Luna and the rest of the team that atmosphere, oh my gosh.
Besides
the
even though
stadium was electric.
Just because there's a firework game, there's no firework game, people show up. Electric atmosphere every single game. So especially this coming Saturday, they need you.
It's
Here
true.
we go. Next question. How much would we sell Gozo for if someone offered 5 million or more?
More.
Yeah, he's not worth that much.
I'm gonna
Not
have to
yet.
go.
Okay, fair.
I'm gonna go about 2.5.
I
It
was,
it would be dumb to sell him right now.
well, yeah.
It would.
In fact, there was a couple rumors of Gent, whatever,
Ugh.
and Feyenoord. Someone had
Eh,
mentioned Feyenoord, or
That's better.
one of the other teams in
Yeah.
that league. But yeah, I agree. Too early to sell him. But
you gotta develop him a lot more. See what he can do, and
Hmm.
then see.
I think only because people are hearing talks like we talked about Mastantuono, who is the same. Oh, in fact, might be a year younger than
Mhm.
Gozo,
Yep.
getting sold for 50 million to Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Um,
but he's been playing for a better team.
Oh yeah, he plays for the national team as well, so he has that experience.
yeah. So yeah, we'll wait on Gozo. We'll wait.
Next question: how likely will Diego Luna be picked up by a European team?
I think 100% because
Yeah.
I've read that the rumors to America are absolutely 0%.
Oh
If
God.
Luna if Luna were to go to Liga MX, that would be the biggest downgrade on the planet. Humongous for his career. So
Better
it
team, yes. Better league, no. And I
yeah,
think and going to a worse league is what would kill it.
yeah.
Liga MX is the cemetery of MLS players.
And
Just
again,
just ask.
he has to go to a good European team too. He can't pull a Andres Gomez and go and disappear in in France.
Amen.
He has to go to if he goes to England, EPL, no championship. If La Liga, it would have to be Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid,
I
a
would
top dog.
I would
Serie A.
I would say
At,
Betis, Sevilla, all
Okay,
those.
Atl-
Sevilla would
Athletic Club.
he would actually do really well at Sevilla, thinking about it.
Just saying.
Um, but like one of those top teams there. Same with the Bundesliga, Leverkusen, Dortmund, Munich. Oh, I can't say that. Nope. Um,
Yeah,
No,
and
it's
Italy,
definitely top
yeah,
dogs or bust. Top
it
dogs or bust.
has to be top dogs or bust.
all right,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
all right.
Last and final question of the night for you guys. Are we back or did we just get lucky against St. Louis?
We shall see.
I'll meet you in the middle. We are improving.
I like that. That one. That one.
I say it's still a long season. We had a lot of players out. By long season, I mean we're halfway. But we had players out, so stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're getting better. Um, wow. That time flew by way too fast, guys. Um,
Times
I
flies when you're talking RSL.
all I can say is I apologize if we skipped out on anything. We really do have more opinions, but look, unfortunately, we're constrained by time. So, give me your guys' last thoughts for this week of soccer, Christian.
Whew. You know, not boring. Glad to see RSL get a win. I think that's a much needed morale boost. Looking forward to see the momentum moving forward into Houston.
Okay, Marcos.
Can both PSG and Real Madrid lose tomorrow? Is that an option? Can they get like a participation trophy? Like,
Guys, that you took my thought. My thought is, I think the World Cup, Club World Cup, is a total farce and a total failure because now it's a European final.
oh yeah, like it's turning into Champions League. Like,
I mean, but we kind
yeah.
of asked for it. It's just the way it is.
Uh,
So,
oh well. Oh well.
guys, this Saturday, Houston, coming in town. Let's be there, be square.
Don't be square. Be there.
Yeah.
Also,
Come to the tailgate. Come see Christian and I will have stickers. 7:30 kickoff. So pack this. Be loud. Diego Luna is making his return back. So you guys don't miss this one. We need you there.
Welcome him home, please.
let's do it.
Absolutely.
Marcos, get
If
us
you
out of here.
If you aren't already, head over to Instagram, head over to X, follow us at the RSL Bros. Listen to us wherever you catch your podcast on Apple or Spotify, and watch us here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe as well.
Oh my gosh, that was
It's a
funny.
tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister. I really need to record you next time. Anyways, guys, it's been real.
Bye.
Ciao!